welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe and in today's video I want to talk about all the books that I read in May. I'm filming this really late. I was on a 2 weeks break, which was great by the way. I realized that this is not the best outfit, but okay. My 2 weeks break was great. I feel relaxed. I didn't have any free time, but I worked in these 2 weeks, but that's not a problem, okay? I enjoyed it. I want to talk about all the books that I read in May, and I joined the Asian readathon that was hosted by Reid with Cindy. I joined it. I think I fulfilled all the prompts. I never talked about this. No, I think I never published a TBR for May, but I will show you what I read now, what I'm thinking about the books. And I read in May 15 books, which is around 5,673 pages. The most of the time I read medium-paced books, and my averaging was 300 to 499. And my average rating for this month was 3.87, which is great. And I think before I talk longer now, let's go into the books that I read. I had in the month of May, I had 2 DNFs. I realized right in the beginning that I don't like these books, and I made a mistake in the last couple of months to read books that I don't like. So I DNF'd 2. The one is a German arc that I got. It's not translated, so I don't know if I can really tell you something about it, but just for reference, this is Eine Hodenlose Frechtheit by Ida von Wegen. This is a book about feminism. Oh, I don't want to do this in native. Okay. It's a book about feminism, and she talks about in a funny way why men don't want to date a successful woman that that have a good job, like being a lawyer, a doctor, and stuff like that. And when I'm honest, this was my fault, because when I requested a book, I thought this is just like a feminism book and not really specifically about dating, so I took the blame on me. I didn't rate this book, so please be aware of that. I didn't rate this book. This was just a DNF, I think at 10%. I'm not dating currently. I'm in a relationship, but I'm not dating, okay? And so the theme of this book was like fly over me, because I can't relate to that. And also I don't need to read 180 pages to tell you why men don't want to date successful women, because then they can't do their macho thing and don't like be the boss in a relationship if someone is smarter than they are. Okay, so this is my conclusion of the book. And the next book I DNF'd. There was also nothing wrong really with the writing style or with the book itself. I DNF'd Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. And the story is about a woman. She's, I think, a lawyer, and her sister is going to marry. Her father is going to sell her childhood home without even telling her. This was just in the first chapter. Her grandmother wants to go back to India, and now she's like in this point of her life where she has a job, she don't earn enough money, she don't has a partner, she doesn't want to have a partner, and she want to have a childhood home. And then she asked her father if she can have the money that he saved up for her wedding to buy this house, because there's probably no chance that she will get married. And her father says, no, you get only this money when you are going to marry. So she's like, okay, I'll find someone. And this is the point where, this was only 2 chapters in, where I realized, okay, this book can be really good, but I hate the fact that this woman was really successful with her job, even though she don't earn enough money. I mean, she's in the beginning of her career, she got a new position, it fits right into these things that she wants to do, and that she's forced into marrying someone so she can save like her childhood home in a couple of weeks. And this is something that I hated in this book, so I DNF'd this. I didn't rate it, so don't worry, I just marked it as DNF and told my reasons behind it. So this was the point. I don't know, maybe the book has a good outcome and it has a better solution in the end, but I know for a fact that I couldn't read this amount of pages just for that. I have 1 2-star. I read this as a part of my Asian readathon, not my Asian readathon, but I joined the Asian readathon, and I read this. I honestly don't know for what I counted this, but I read An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahereh Mafi, and this is a contemporary YA book. And the premise of the book is, I need to tell you that first because this is why I got it in my 2-star. In Emotion of Great Delight, it's about Shadi. Shadi is a Muslima, and she lives in the USA right after the terror attack in September 11th in 2001. This is in place in the year 2003, and Shadi, the meaning behind the name Shadi is joy. And she goes to a really dark time of her life. So this book has really hard topics, from self-harm, suicide thoughts, a suicide attempt, death of family members, racism. And the thing is, the promise of the book was that you read the story of Shadi, how she get to this trouble of time, but in the end she realized that, I don't know, her meaning behind her name is joy, and she experienced joy in her life. And that's not what's happening in the book. Like, the synopsis was totally wrong for the book. You get these really hard topics, like I told you, thrown in your face, but there's no solution for that. And this is something I hate with every cell of my body. I hate in contemporary when the author throws and like these really hard topics right in your face, like depression, suicide attempt, and there's no solution to that. Like, you read the book, you read all of this, and in the end it's nothing. Like, when they tell you now everything gets better, you don't see it because you only see the shit happened and not how the person makes her way out of it. And this is something I don't like to see in YA fantasy and YA contemporary, for the fact that the mental health help in all countries. I don't want to say it in Germany it's good. It's bad. It's really bad. I got through the process of getting help, and it's really, really bad how all the things is gone, how you get help. And if you read this as a teenager and you go through this time right now, if I read this with 16, I would guess there's no hope for me, because this book gives me nothing. In the end, when like they say, oh, my name is Joy, I don't see it. I can't see it. And yeah, this is why I ended up giving this 2 stars. The writing style was good, but like the whole story, I just want to have not for everything a solution, because going through the healing process is like a long way. This is nothing that you can do in a short book. We're talking about months, years to heal from the things that happen to you or that going in your body. But at least for like 3 out of the 15,000 problems that are in the books will be a good solution, and I would hope to see that there's at least something in Charlie's life that is good in the end. Then I have 3 stars, which is also great. Let's talk about the first book. I read this for the also for the Asian readathon, and also this was a book club pick for Isabella's Patreon, Throne of Pages. I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I hope I said this right. And you get in this book 4 short stories about the concept of this cafe is that you can go there, and if you when you sit down in the right seat, you can travel to one time back and talk to someone that was also in the cafe, and you have as long time as before your coffee gets cold to talk to the person. And if you don't come back and you don't drink your coffee fast enough, you will trap in like this seat until the next person comes and forgets to drink the coffee out before it's cold. So this is the main thing. And you have in this book 4 short stories about 4 people that are going through this process, that are sitting down and drinking their coffee and talk to someone that they loved. And the thing is, 2 out of the stories was completely unnecessary, because the thing is, you can't change what happened back then. You can only sit down and talk to the persons, but you can change something that they said and make it unhappen. Like, all of the things are going to happen no matter how much you talk to the person. So 2 of them I find really unnecessary, because there is a high chance for these 2 people that they can talk to the person that they talk to in real life again. And the other 2 broke my heart. So, and I wished that this book has given me something more. Like, I wish there were any I don't need it 4 stories, maybe like the 2 stories that touched my heart, like the second and the fourth. Like, give me these 2 short stories and make a book out of it with like 2 longer versions of that, and cut out the first and the third because they were unnecessary. So I ended up giving this 3 stars. I liked it. I think it's good. But yeah, there was I missed something. Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and for me, I personally think Book Lovers is my least favorite of the Emily Henry novels. And if you don't know what's going on in Book Lovers, I tell you, Nora is a book agent, and she has like an enemy that is called Charlie, and Charlie is like the editor of the books. And this is my first problem that I have with the story, is like the enemies to lovers. First of all, how much enemy can you be in real life, but in a romance setting with a person? I understand it in fantasy, like maybe like two kingdoms, forbidden love story, you know what I mean? But they don't even work in the same job. She is an agent, so she don't have any editor part. She just maybe read the first chapter, and then she's like, okay, I can sell you the book to one publisher, and then she brings the book to the publisher. And Charlie is the one who edits the book, who reads the book for the author, makes edits and say like, cut this out, maybe change that. And then like Charlie and Nora, they don't have the same job. They don't work in the same company. They got paid. I don't understand why they are enemies. This was just a misunderstanding. Okay. And then Nora is a workaholic. She just has this little sister, Libby, and Libby is like, okay, we need a vacation, and they travel to Sunshine Falls in North Carolina, and they have a time together there. And this is my second problem that starts with that I didn't like Libby at all. I think she was a really annoying character. And I know what was her purpose and what was the plot of it, but it was kinda unnecessary. And also, in my opinion, this is also contemporary. This is not a romance really, because the parts between Nora and Charlie are so little. The main thing that you have is like the inner monologue from Nora, in the conversations that she has with her sister Libby. But I still would recommend this book. This is not the point, but I expected something different, so my disappointment was really high. I give 3 stars. Is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. In this book is about it's about Spencer, and she wants to be a pilot for this. This is a sci-fi book, so it's somewhere in the future, and the humans are living on another planet, and they have a defensive force, and she wants to be a pilot for this too. Her father was a pilot, but she has really hard troubles to get into this pilot because her father is supposed to be a traitor. And then you follow the story, what is maybe going on in Skyward, what is happening, and you see Spencer training to be a pilot. So this is the main story behind it. And I don't like sci-fi. Sci-fi is not my main genre. This is, of all the genres that I could possibly read, sci-fi is the last one I would read. I read it and I really enjoyed my time with it. So why did giving up this in 3 stars? Because I feel like this book was a really, for me the book was really slow, because the world is building up, like the Brandon Sanderson. If you don't know this, but he writes really long books in a fantasy world setting, and I think he tried to do all the same things that he do with his other works, but in less pages, and it felt like really much of an information dump for me at least. And you see you see her mainly in training, being a pilot, and some action scenes. So I enjoy this. I want to read the next books too. I have Starlight on my TBR table. I have all the other books too. I have Satonic here. I also have the short stories here. I definitely want to read this, so this is not the point. I just gave this 3 stars because it was a slow read for me, and I didn't enjoy my time with it as much I did with The Way of Kings. And this was a long ass book. So yeah, but I can recommend this definitely to you. My first 4-star was Does My Body Offend You by Mayra Cueavas and Marquadt. And I found this in a bookstore randomly. I didn't see any person talking about this book, and it's about 2 girls, Ruby and Malena. And Malena is from Puerto Rico, I think. She is from Puerto Rico, and after hurricane her home is destroyed, so she moves to Florida in the USA, and she lives now with the rest of her family. Like she has family in Florida, and this is a real life event that happened in 2017, I think. So this is not just a random thing, like this really happened. And Ruby is also in the school, and she is like a feminist rebel. She is in the shadow of her sister, and she wants to do something in her life that prove her that she's also good at something. And Malena has big boobs, and she got a really bad sunburn. This is important for the story. And so she gets without a bra to the school, and then she got detention for that because she didn't fit into the school clothing policy. And Ruby told her that it's not true. She read it multiple times, and there's no word in it that girls need to wear bras at school to fit into this policy. So there's a whole feminist riot that happened in the school because of this situation that happened with Malena, and I enjoyed really my time with it. I can definitely recommend this to you. Most of the time I was grossed out and pissed off of the adults in the story, and I just want to know how at one point people became like this. How can you be like this big of an asshole? But yeah, I can definitely recommend this book to you. There's just something that I was missing that I can give this a 5 stars. The next book that I read is Lonely Hearts by Mona Kasten. This is a German book, so I will keep it short. But it's about Rosie. She's a music reporter. She has her own online podcast about music, and she's interviewing new bands, older bands. And there's one band that she is a really big fan of them, the Scarlet Luck, and she is a fan of them, the band, since the beginning. And then they got an interview together, and of some things that happened, she's the most hated person on the planet, and the boy band noticed that, and then they tried to help her. And in all this process, she fell in love with Adam, the drummer of the band. And yeah, but there's some troubles in Adam's life, and we're just seeing that he can be a really good boyfriend. And you follow the story. It was cute. I almost cried, but there were one things that happened in the book that made me giving this book a 4 stars. Then I finally did it. I read Broken Throne, which is the last book in the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. And Broken Throne is a couple of short stories in the world of the Red Queen series. So you get like historical stories about how the country that Mayra lives in became the country that they are, and how the kingdom was built up, and how the other countries around it made their history, what happened, and which was really interesting. And then like you get also like short stories about Carl's mother, like how she met the king, how they became a couple, and all this kind of things. And also like scenes what happened after the 4th book, and how they find a resolution for all the problems that they had in the last book, where there was no answer. And so this was a great ending for me personally for the series, and I really enjoyed it. The next book is The Ivory Key by Akshaya Raman, and this book is really short, 300 pages I think. This book was part of the Lubricate box. This was together with This Wolf and Kingdom. This book came in May, and this book has it's about 4 siblings I think, and they are totally different. Like each sibling is totally different from the other one, and they go together on a hunt to find something, the key, the ivory key, but everyone with a other intention why they're doing this, and what is the outcome of the search for this key. And on this way, they getting some trouble and stuff like that. And it was a really great read. I enjoyed my time with it, and you get multiple POVs in this short book, but I don't know how she did it, but it doesn't feel overwhelming in the end, that there are like 4 to 5 POVs in the story. I think it helped a lot that first of all, for the audiobook there are different narrators for each character, or at least for the male and female voice. There are 2 different characters, and in the beginning of the chapter there was always with a new character, new chapter, and the name of the character. So I really enjoyed my time. I definitely want to read the 2nd book. In the end of the year the 2nd book will be out, and I will be reading this definitely. Then I read from Ruby Dixon one I Spent Barbarian book. I'm back in the game of reading this, and I read Aftershocks, which is the 9.1 book, and this is 2 short stories, or like 2 chapters, what happened after a big event in the 9th book. I can't really talk about this because this will be a huge spoiler, but I really enjoyed my time with it, and I'm so excited to what comes next with the books. The next book that I read is Faking with Benefits, and Faking with Benefits, it's about 4 people and it's about Layla Thompson. She has her own clothing line. Most of it is like underwear, and she has a really hard trouble in life, and she wants to get married soon, but she doesn't have a partner, but she has a life plan, and so her 3 neighbors try to help her to find out what is the problem with her trying to date anyone, and they have her on a podcast. And stick with me, because when I heard that they have a podcast, I was like, okay, I'm out. 3 men having a podcast talking about dating advice but not being in a relationship? No, just no. But actually it was not that bad what they told. And they decided to make a new project, and this is like they dated Lila for this podcast, and made the fake dating experience out of it. And in this process of try to help Lila to find someone that she might like, they fall in love. All of them. And it was cute. It was really cute. And I really enjoyed my time with it. So I give this 4 stars. The next book that I read is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie Oh. This was a really short book. I read this really fast, and I enjoyed my time with it. So obviously, otherwise I wouldn't give this 4 stars. So what is going on? Mina's country homeland is for generation it's destroyed by storms, and they believe in the sea god. And the sea god is cursed and is sleeping, and so they try to give him each year a maiden, and she's the sea god's bride, and they throw her in the sea and she needs to try to save the sea god, and so she can save the homeland, so they don't get destroyed from like bad weather and sea floods. And Mina is not the sea bride. She is not supposed to be the sea bride. The sea bride in this year was Shim Xiong, and her brother follows her, and Mina's brother follows her, and because he is in love with Shim. And Mina realized this, and she threw herself into the sea and said that she's now the sea god's bride. And then you follow the story underneath the sea, and she is in all this process. So first of all, really tried to save this sea god, try to marry him, that now her homeland is saved, but also she's in the process of like going under the sea, figure out how the world works, and then you follow the story. And I enjoy my time with it. I know some people said an issue with it, with the time jumping in the end, and I understand this. I also have trouble with that. I wish it was more clear from the time jump in the end, but I really enjoyed my time with it. I had a great reading experience. It was exactly what I needed in the moment. I liked YA fantasy, and I think it's a really good YA fantasy, especially because it's nothing I read something before. Of course, like this is a different type of book. We don't have like the random white girl who's fallen in love with 2 dudes and is the chosen one. Mina is also the chosen one, but she made herself the chosen one. She was not the chosen one. She made it. Another 4-star was The Assassin's Blade by Sara Maas. This is the prequel to the Throne of Glassword. You have multiple stories in the story that told Selena's story, how she became the person that she is in the first book, that we all know, that we all hate, love, hate, and you get different stories. And then if you're reading the story, you're like, are the people important in the story? Yes, they are. And this was a reread for me. I read this a couple of years ago. I reread the entire Throne of Glass series multiple times, but I never reread The Assassin's Blade. and this was my first reread, and I enjoyed it again. There were so many like funny moments in it, but I also need to say that I like Selena's song. I like her character. I don't think that we could get well together. Like, I don't think we will understand us. I think that she will hate me, and I think I will cry after the first time I talk to her. But I still enjoy her story, and I'm so excited to read the next book. And for my 5 stars, I also have 3 5 stars. The first one, I'm ashamed to say that, not because the book is bad, but this was a TikTok recommendation for the last couple of 2 years, and I ignored it because I was like, I don't like it because everyone likes it. And then I read it, and then I liked it, and I was like, this one time you fooled me, and this one time you were right. All the other times you were wrong, TikTok. The books are bad, okay? But this one time I need to say you're right. This book was good. And I'm talking about The 7 Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo. The first thing that I don't like in this book, like, was in the beginning, like when the journalist told told us who Evelyn Hugo is. Like, she's like this really successful actress. She won an Oscar and stuff like that, and she's known for her 7 husbands that she married. And I'm like, really, this is all she's known for all the other people, is that she's was married to 7 men. Oh Lord. This is like saying Elizabeth Taylor is just known for all of her marriages, not for the fact that she is Elizabeth Taylor. But okay, then I started the book, and we get into this space. Not really, like, the journalist interviews Evelyn Hugo, and she told every story of her marriage and was the reason behind the marriage and what happened. And the first story was really heartbreaking, and the more you read in the book, the more you get known what was the reason behind all the marriages. And is this even the plural of marriages? I don't know. And I think the plot will hit me more if I didn't knew this in the beginning before going into the book, because I took the blame also on me, because I can't expect TikTok to not spoil me after 2 years the book is out. Like, yeah, this happens in the book, okay. But I really enjoyed my time with it, and I had a great reading experience. I tried so hard to hold my tears back in the end, and I did, but it was really hard time to hold my tears back. So this was an easy 5 star. The hype is real, but I also understand if people don't liking this, but also not. The next book that got 5 stars for me it's the 3rd Percy Jackson book. I read the 4th book in June, so I read the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson series, Titans Curse. And honestly, this was exactly what I needed in the moment when I read it. It was fun, sad, so many plot points in it. You get so many informations in the story. And when I read it, I read it in one sitting. I listened to this book. I was like, okay, give me all the information that I need. And I really enjoyed my time with it. I know I said this all out the last couple of books, but this is just the vibe, okay? And I understand now why everyone loves Percy Jackson, and I'm so excited to read the 5th book. I've already read the 4th book. Now I'm excited to read the 5th book to see how all the shit is going down. Because this book was a big plot point, turning point in the story. And last but not least, I read, this was my first read in May. I finished 1 book. So this was the reason why it was not in my April wrap up. I have 2 editions of The War of the Queens, don't ask me why. I honestly can't tell you why, because I pre-ordered the hardcover and then it got not shipped because of delay, and I had the paperback here and this was the whole reason I ordered the paperback, because the hardcover was not sent to me because of issues, like no one got the hardcover, okay? And then I forgot that I even ordered the hardcover, and then it arrived at my home and I have it and it's beautiful because it looks like this. I need to dust check it. Also, there's a digital sign of the author in it. I know for a lot of people that's not enough, they want a really signed book, but if you're so a subscriber of book boxes, you know that you'll get a lot of books that are just digital, like signed and not really signed. And then you have also then there's also a picture of Hawk in it, just for people who didn't read the book. And of course this arrived here after I finished reading the paperback version. But this doesn't stop me. And second of all, this book is really heavy. Like this is, it's not really, this book is heavy. Like this is a weapon. So this is why I placed this here, okay? So The War of the Queens is the last book, not the last book, the latest book that was out in the From Blood and Ash series. It's the 4th one. So there was a lot going on with the 4th book of the War of the Queens series, because a lot of people was not happy what happened in The War of the Queens, and they sent death threats to Jennifer Armentrout that she ruined the books. And I try not to spoil myself what was the issue with that. And then, but the more the shit is going on and the 1-star reviews was flying in that they only read the specific scene that was mentioned that it was the issue. I started reading the book, obviously, and also try to inform myself what is the problem for the people. And when you don't know these From Blood and Ash series, by the way, it's about Poppy. She's the maiden. She is the chosen one to save the world, and then no one can touch her, no one can speak to her. And then there's Hawk there, and they fall in love, and then the rest is going down. I can't tell you the rest because it will be all a spoiler, but The War of the Queens, yeah, it was a great book. I loved it, 5 stars, obviously, but now I get to a spoiler. This is for maybe all the people that read The War of the Queens, maybe want to read The War of the Queens, but this is a spoiler now, and this is a huge spoiler, so skip to the end if you don't want to hear this. Just a break for you to skip. Okay, listen. The thing that happened in The War of the Queens was hinted for us since the end of From Blood and Ash. The first book, yeah, we got the hints that this might going to happen, the joining in the From Blood and Ash series, then in of Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and the Crown of Bitter Bones. I don't wait 3 fucking long ass books. First of all, the 3rd book that was so shitty written there. This was the baddest book of all the books I ever read from Jennifer Armentrout. I got through this book and I would be so pissed if she didn't write this fucking joining scene at The War of the Queens. And now listen to me. Listen to me closely, okay? If you don't be in a relationship, I can tell you something. If the person that you're together with, so yeah, I'm Poppy, yeah. My husband is right next to me, and the 3rd person is also here, and we're doing all 3 together, like something together, joining and having sex with each other. This here is not cheating. If the husband agrees with it that we all have a threesome together, okay? This is called threesome. This is something you can look up, but this is called a threesome, okay? People have, there are couples out there that have sex with a third person, okay? And this is not cheating. Cheating would be if, like, my husband is not there and he's not knowing everything about this, and I sleep with this third person alone, and my husband sitting at home and thinking that I'm at work. This is called cheating, okay? There are multiple other reasons that you can cheat. It's up to you what you think cheating is. And they talked a lot about this scenario in the beginning of the book. Like, they talked about this after Sara was saved. They stopped talking about the joining and that they need to do this, and also Poppy and her husband talking about the feelings that they have each other for Kieran in this part, okay? I already talked about spoilers. So Poppy talks to Castile about her feelings to Kieran, and she told him that she's might feeling more for Kieran than she should be, that she still loves Castile. He is her mate, he is her husband. She loves him, he adores him, she goes into war for him, okay? She would do everything for him, but she also likes Kieran. Not in the same way, but not in a friend way. And Castile says this, and he's like, that's okay. That's okay. He's not mad about it, he's not screaming, crying, throwing up in the corner, and they don't talk about divorce. They are adults, they're in a relationship, in a loving relationship. They're talking about their problems, they're talking about what's going on in their life, and it was consent, baby, consent. This is my favorite word. So this was it. I hope to talk about 15 books. If not, I honestly, this book can be really special if I forgot talking about this. But yeah, this was everything I read in May. It's really late. I hope when I publish this, my readathon will start soon. I also link my announcement video somewhere else. And then I hope you had an amazing June so far. It was an amazing month. And then I will link everything down in the description down below. If you have questions, ask me them, and then I will see you in my next video. Bye!